So the new slate of DC films is out from James Gunn. I'm just gonna make this real quick and real simple, real sweet, man, straight to the point. In 2025, they're rebooting everything from Superman, Supergirl. There's gonna be two Batman, and one of the Batman is gonna have a son, and then a older Batman, and then there's going to be Robert Patterson, and he's not going to be part of this new slate. Anything that's outside of James Gunn's slate of films and his whole plan for chapter one called Gods and Monsters is going to be underneath a banner called Elseworlds. So none of it makes sense right now. It's still frustrating. They have this new banner, this new label called DC Elseworlds. And Henry Cavill's Superman and Zack Snyder's universe could have obviously, existed inside of there. But we still are given this excuse about I'm going to recast him because he's not young enough. And then we get the news about Dave Batista, who just obviously is going to back James Gunn. He can't play Bane because he's too old. And none of it makes any sense. That's the whole thing. Now, you have some properties that are pretty exciting. Some unknown characters, some mutants, aliens, things that obviously, you know, really fit right into the whole identity of James Gunn and what he's able to do. But still, none of it makes you want to rush to the theater, and none of it makes you want to, you know, reinvest your time into this whole situation. But I get it. I understand. In 10 years we'll be 50. 10 years, man, all those glorious, beautiful people from 1984 was going to be 50 years old, man. So obviously we're no longer part of the demographic. And that would obviously push, Henry Cavill to, 50, 50 plus. So, he'll be a very old Superman. So we get it, we understand it. But it just doesn't make any sense, that you call your chapter one Gods and Monsters, and it's a complete, absolute ripoff of what Zack Snyder was doing before they canceled everything. Remember, there was a time when we had this whole God sort of realm and God sort of angle that Zack Snyder was going to take, and then they canceled it. Remember, Ava was going to direct a film, and then they canceled that avenue. And then the whole monsters thing was already there, what I'm saying, with Swamp Thing, with Justice League Dark. And it's like they took all of the ideas from Zack Snyder, gave it to James Gunn with Peter, and then all of a sudden they take all of the credit for it. And people are still, if you look online and stuff, people are still, not too happy about it. But like I said, man, vote with your wallet. You don't have to, you don't have to support it. In 2025, man, there's gonna be a new Batman, new Superman, and if you're gonna support the new slate, support it. If you're not, then that's it. It's that simple, man. Now, here's what I suggest. I suggest that you put about $100 into the Warner Bros. Discovery stock, which I'll be doing tomorrow morning, as soon as the stock market opens. Pouring in about 100, and I'll probably do that from now all the way until 2025 to see if you can get something from it. Now with the DC Elseworlds, here's what's kind of cool about that, and the whole idea and notion is that you could possibly sell Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 2 to Netflix. It could probably happen, but it just depends, man. There's a lot more that I have to sit here and discuss. Obviously, we got to talk about some shots that were fired from James Gunn. We have to, man, because he said some things that, man, were pretty outlandish, man. And with the private press conference they had, he said some other things too. But it just felt like, man, there were some personal blows, man. But yeah, that's what I say, man. If you're going to support it, support it. If you're not, just let it go. Let this be the end and focus on something else, man. Remember, there's more important things in life. Obviously, it's not just about DC Comics and comic book characters and all that. There's way more important stuff. But hopefully, one day maybe we'll get a DC Elseworlds with Henry Cavill, and maybe that's what James Gunn was hinting. You know, um, 20 years down the road, 30 years down the road, who knows? It's freaking ridiculous. But anyway, guys, we're out of here, man. Take it easy. Hey.